Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Yes. Our new mini intro. It's there. Yeah. So I don't know why I didn't do that faster, but it's like I could just have a mini intro ready to go in case I don't have time to edit stuff together, which I definitely don't this week. I'm sure I've brought it up on the podcast before, but Thanksgiving week it's rough for me. Yeah. I am exhausted in pretty much every single way you can imagine. But like, kind of to understand it, like Thanksgiving week is just brutal and exhausting. But then as soon as Thanksgiving's over, it is just relaxing and just time to mellow. It's a drastic switch. So I just barrel through a couple days, but we got a podcast. Oh, and Thanksgiving week's also another reason why the baby mail coverage I was talking about. Got it all recorded, guys. I'm either going to get all put together and have it part of the podcast next week, or maybe I will release a mini podcast episode in the middle of the week, which will come on the podcast channel. But I'll make sure to post about it on my main channel. Not exactly sure which will happen, but one of them will happen.
Okay.
How
was the show?
With the week. They did a solid show. Here's one thing we learned about that venue: the stage is a little low. So when you're in a standing room audience, we're at Andrew J. Brady Music Center.
I've heard the venue. I have been there. I was curious. I'm very curious.
It's actually a nice looking venue, but the stage is low, and they part of their act is that they're Japanese girls. They're singing and they're dancing. They have a very choreographed dance routine, and we could barely see them. It was like that was kind of annoying, but like they sounded fairly good. They live sounds good for live. I thought it was a decent show. They had like the videography and stuff like that. So like they had videos for everything.
Yeah,
were all the songs they were doing. But yeah, one of the things I thought would be nice is the venue wasn't quite big enough for that, but like lots of venues will have like screens, like little TV screens on the side, and it won't be nice to have just like screens just looking at them live dancing because
just so you could see it and not the back of people's heads and like a hand and a head occasionally. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the whole reason why we stood against. That's the whole reason why we stood against the soundboard for "Wish You Were Here."
Yeah.
That reason alone. Yeah, sure, we could be in the pit, but we could be right here and be at eye level.
Well, we didn't have that option there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I offered Ashling, we can try to get closer, but it's also a metal show, and I don't know how rowdy these shows get. Fortunately, it didn't get rowdy. It wasn't Ministry, so that's good news. But Yeah, I'm always a little bit concerned when I have a metal show. And it was her first metal show, so she didn't really know what exactly to expect. And the crowd was a little much. It was a bit intense for her. But
Okay.
it's like, yeah, it's a metal show. That's a bit more intense than like you're gonna get a more intense crowd for baby metal than you will for Genesis. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot more people for Genesis, but yeah.
You'll get a more amped up crowd, especially
Mhm.
with metal and punk shows.
Yes.
And sometimes they're a bit much.
Yes, they are. They'll just be yelling shit. Like when they first turn off the lights for, obviously the show ended, but it was obvious like,
Yeah.
they step off stage, encore guys like, oh, they better come back on. They better come back on. It's like, of course they're gonna come back on. The lights aren't on, are they? They aren't chasing us out, are they? They're gonna come back on. Quit whining.
So what
Like just the procedure. Put on your cell phone light and lift it up and wait.
Yeah, you know the deal here, pal.
Yeah.
So when I went to go see Cake, right?
Yeah.
Like they had maybe right before the first song even played, which was Frank Sinatra, which was a great song to open up with. But before they even hit their first note, dude, this guy by me was just yelling, "Sheep go to heaven!" Whoa! Just they started playing him still. "Sheep go to heaven." They end the first song. "Sheep go to heaven." I go, I think you need to get closer so he could hear you, bud. Because I was at the LC, so I was outdoors in the grass area near the back because that's where my car was. So I wanted to be able to get out real quickly at the end of that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like dude just kept yelling. We saw him work his way down the lawn, his way to the other side of the lawn. Every so often, we just very faintly hear "Sheep go to heaven."
It's kind of like, buddy, I don't know if they're taking requests. I guess you can give it a shot.
In my experience, that's the best way not to hear the song you want to hear.
Yeah. They're going to be like, yeah, no, we're done.
Fuck that song. Yeah, well, fuck that song.
That guy won't shut up. I think we need to play literally anything else. We're going to play our most obscure, corniest song ever before we play that.
And they did play an obscure one, too.
That's nice. Well, that was one of my Ashleen's complaints. So it was because it's a dancing routine. It was actually a fairly short show. I would actually venture a guess that with the main set and the encore, they probably performed for just under an hour.
Okay.
So and that's like a normal set, but I am used to a bit like longer shows
like
and
a 2.5. Almost 3-hour show. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not expecting The Cure where he goes on for like 3.5 hours, where every encore is like a whole new set. But
there's shows that I've been to like that I'm not complaining about.
No.
Like the second time I saw "Wish You Were Here" was a makeup on a tour. It was a makeup show because the date of the Columbus show, we got that really bad snowstorm. It was like in 06 or 07, like middle of March.
Yeah,
that like level, that the one that just killed everything in Franklin County.
And
it was like
right.
It was the only show on that. It was the only show scheduled on that tour that they had to cancel. So when they came back to make it up, they played a regular set. Just all bangers, pretty much all of Dark Side, which is some old school Piper the Gates stuff.
Nice.
And like after like already a fucking phenomenal show, they're like, we're gonna come back because we had to miss you last time, so we're gonna come back with a special encore of all of Animals and all of Wish You Were Here, both in their entirety.
Oh,
so
damn.
It's like, I mean, like, guys, you were playing stuff off Saucer Full of Secrets. Like it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Well, Saucer Full of Secrets is everybody's favorite Pink Floyd album. I mean, it's definitely, it's not what people usually go for, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Pink Floyd. I think there are at least a couple bangers on all their albums. So
there's some secret stuff that's on Obscured by Clouds. Like I think everyone's sleeping on that album. Like I really feel everyone's sleeping on that one.
But yeah, Ashleen's complaint. She's more familiar with the band than I am, but her big complaint was that they only did 2 deep cuts and everything else was just singles, which I get for the limited set time. But
Yeah, if you have a
I
short
can see
set
how
time, play the
I can
hits.
see how maybe you'd hope for a couple more deep cuts. I get that, 'cause
Yeah, I do
I think every performance I go to, there's gonna be probably at least a handful of deep cuts, which is always fun. Because the part of the fun of going to the shows is what are they gonna play, and kind of how they can throw you off is throw a couple deep cuts in there. No,
a few years ago, I went to see the Who, and I kind of was like not surprised to hear anything off Tommy, but I was very surprised to hear "Amazing Journey" and the "We're Not Gonna Take It" follow up. I was a little surprised to hear that. I mean, not surprised to hear "Pinball Wizard," but was very surprised to hear that. I was like, "Oh, we're doing "Amazing Journey." Okay, cool. I'm here for it.
I remember for The Cure, I was the one track I was really hoping for because I was really digging it at the time was "From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea," which is not a single at all, just a deep cut off Wish.
Yeah.
The big single off that is "Friday I'm in Love," and I assumed they'd do "Friday I'm in Love." I was like, man, it'd be awesome if they did "From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea," and they fucking did it, and I was like, fucking awesome. I love this. But yeah, it was a fun show, and it's also contributed to my tiredness because I've not had a day off since then, and it was a late night, and at some point I plan on catching up on sleep, and it will be wonderful.
It will be great, and you'll have a full belly too. So
yeah, true. Well, I mean, I got the Thanksgiving streams planned out. Gonna make a special turkey all by myself, just for me to eat. Watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, as we all do on Thanksgiving.
Really? The thing, you know what I watch every year for Thanksgiving? Well, I listen to Alice's Restaurant, but I also watch one of the movies that we're talking about. Yeah, I also watch one of the movies we're talking about this week.
Oh, I feel a segue coming on.
Oh, yes, it is a segue.
Well, we have and we probably guess from the title, we will be talking about Gladiator 2. We will be talking about Cobra Kai season 3, and we will be talking about
The Last Waltz.
This movie, The Last Waltz.
Now, how familiar are you with the band prior to watching this movie?
Midway. I will let you know. One of the things that kind of held me back a little bit on this movie is that I like the band. I appreciate the band, but they're not one of my favorites. They definitely have some bangers, which they play on here. There's a couple on here. I was like, oh yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
But this is also this is the first time I've seen this, and here's what I will say: as far as concert movies, which admittedly I've not seen like a plethora of them. I've seen a few. I would say this is without a doubt the best made one I've ever seen. It is really well done. Even as somebody who, I definitely think the band has some bangers, but I don't like all their stuff. Even somebody sitting from that position, I'm looking at this, I'm watching how a lot of this is filmed, the interviews, how the interviews go along with the music and they don't feel like interruptions. How a lot of the songs are shot is fucking beautiful. This is a hell of a concert movie. Holy shit, Martin Scorsese did put in the work. This looks amazing.
Which is always why whenever I say, "Oh, Scorsese's directing, he's doing a flick about a band," cool. I don't care who it is. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing with that, and this is what I cite as my closing argument for that he knows what he's doing, especially with this medium. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, out of all the guests that came out, which one were you like, oh my gosh? And which was the one that you had no idea who they were, but blew you away the most?
I'm trying to think. I don't think
it better be Joni
that actually. I don't think there's anybody that I didn't know.
Even Paul Butterfield.
Well, I guess I didn't know. Yeah.
Harmonica player.
You got me. I'm thinking the bigger ones. Yeah.
Harmonica player.
Okay, so I didn't know him.
Hey, I didn't know him the first time I watched him, but since discovering him, man, that's some great blues rock and roll.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but it was the singer they had on the Wait.
That was Mavis Staples in the Staples Singer.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't
that
that like
was
the best
good.
version of that you've ever heard in your
Oh,
life?
dude. Yeah, no. Like I after saying, the band is a band. Band is a band.
They're the band.
Where I
band.
don't love all their stuff. The Wait is a very cool song, and like this is like the best music video. One of the best music videos I've ever seen for that song. Just a live performance.
Just
some of the
them.
shots he gets where he just rotating around like when he's
So
rotating around like the drummer.
That's
Oh my God.
1975. Like,
Yes.
Marty.
I think like when it's early on and he's rotating around Levon Helms, the drummer.
Levon.
When he's rotating around him and when it cuts away to someone else, for like I understand why it cuts away to someone else, but I'm like, I was loving that shot. Keep going.
Yeah, that's something. Well, I was
so much
trying
there.
to.
Yeah.
I was trying to send you a screenshot, and it's actually from that music video shot where it's during the last verse where it pans back and you see all 5 members of the band just in one frame, all playing. I was gonna be like, man, if we're gonna grab one for the video clip, it should just be that one. Just because that is such a great one. But the one you got of Robbie's pretty good. Yeah, all the stories are pretty funny, aren't they?
Oh yeah. So some of them are surprisingly just like, damn, that got dark fast.
Yeah, some of them do get dark.
I mean, there was one where they're just talking about we were broke as fuck, so we went in. One of us went in and bought a whole bunch of bread, and another one of us went in and stole a whole bunch of bologna.
Like, stuffing our coats with bologna.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, we'll meet you out by the car. You get the bread.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure being a struggling band on the road, especially in like the early 60s like that, I'm sure it was pretty much like that.
Well, I mean, the
all living together,
who you definitely see the most throughout this is the one who's talked about how they've been doing this for 16 years, and he wants to wrap it up because he does not want to do it for 20 years. It's intense. Yeah. And I get that, especially back then. So, I mean, that means he'd been essentially touring for nonstop since 1959 to 1975. Yeah. That does sound intense.
And a lot of that time was spent backing other bands. Like that whole Bob Dylan Basement tapes. That's the band that Bob's playing.
Oh,
with.
yeah.
Like, that's the band.
That's where I knew the band as primarily when I first heard of them. I knew them as they were the Bob Dylan backing band because it was always Bob Dylan and the band. And
and they like the band. They're the band for the man. Like but their history of other musicians that they have backed too was impressive.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, you could tell from the guest list on here. Like, I didn't know Neil Young would be on this. All of a sudden, he walks in and is like, that's fucking Neil Young.
Hey, I told you he was coked out of his gourd that night.
Oh yeah, but
it's hilarious to watch. You're just like,
there.
Oh, like you're having fun.
I remember when Eric Clapton came up. That it was Eric Clapton was during the second half when I watched it. Like I had to watch this over 2 days, but the second half I watched when my daughter was home, and I was like, oh, it's Eric Clapton. He's a really talented musician. And a real piece of shit, but a really talented musician.
Yeah,
and
that's
she's
how
like,
I feel.
Oh, really? And
that's how I feel about
his Wikipedia, and she was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's like then you look at oh, there's Van Morrison. Man, he's a hell of a singer. Fucking piece of shit though, but amazing singer.
Well, I did notice at the end where they did like the song where like pretty much everybody performs. I did notice Clapton was not part of that.
So I've read his autobiography.
Oh, really? Does it bring that up?
Oh yes, he would have much rather partied. You see him in a clip for that. He's out to sing the song, but like he disappears quickly after because he thought it was just the one song.
Yeah,
and that was it. He went back to his room to party, just to go skiing.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't notice it until this time I watched it. One of the interview shots right before you see Rick doing this, like wiping his nose, and then they were rolling. And
I
went,
missed that, but yeah.
why have I never caught that before?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick,
He had a runny nose. What?
Okay.
He had the sniffles, Bobby. What else could it be?
Being very familiar with this group, and
they're obviously straight edge.
Hell, their story isn't a glamorous one. There's a lot I'm not talking about with it. Like what's become of all the members, because Garth is the only living one.
Yeah, Garth Hudson's. Yeah, I was looking it up. Garth Hudson's the only one left. Robbie Robinson only died a couple years ago.
Levon died of throat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? He played every night in his barn and invited people over until he died.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta kind of respect that.
Hey, I was impressed when he was literally doing the thing that Phil Collins avoided desperately because it's hard.
You mean playing the fuck out of the drums while singing the fuck out of a song?
Yeah, doing lead vocals and playing the drums.
Now,
when Phil would do it, he would have a special wireless set so he could, actually move his head.
Levon's just playing.
Levon's just yeah, it looks kind of uncomfortable, but it's like it sounds great. It's like he's nailing it.
Yeah, I've always said, Phil's a great drummer. He ain't got shit on Levon Helm though. But
well.
Technique aside, that's damn.
Yeah,
and they're all multi-instrumentalists. That's something you also have to respect about.
Yeah, it's something fairly quickly too with the group.
Yeah,
like almost all of them sing a song pretty much.
Yeah, they all sing except for Garth.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, as someone who's a bit mid on the band, I think there's definitely some bangers they have, and they have some good ones on here.
I don't know how
a fantastic concert movie.
Yeah, comedian. I don't know how Levon did it, but he had a voice.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Goddamn.
No, you just saw the photo there looks like that might be from him doing that.
Yep.
If it loads. Yeah, it looks like
that's
clearly him playing the drum. Yeah. So he's playing the drums while he's doing that. He's playing them
probably doing a fill too. Like a big fill, yeah.
Yeah. It's like damn.
Drummers that can do impressive. That, but who can do more than just your standard da, 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 but just playing the hell and sing, just got nothing but mad respect for that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's gotta be massively distracting. Man.
There is some sadder ones with the band, like Richard Emmanuel, the other guy on the keyboard, is the one with the really soulful voice.
Mm-hmm.
He hung himself.
Yeah, I was about ready to say I think he was the first one. So just FYI, of the actual band members, Garth is the only one still with us. Yeah, he died in '86. So 11 years after the performance and 8 years after the movie.
Yeah. And Rick died slowly, just pretty much from psoriasis.
Mm-hmm.
I was just he abused his body for years.
Mm-hmm.
No other way to put it.
I in case you guys couldn't tell, I was being intensely sarcastic when I said they were straight edge. They were obviously quite high, quite a bit. Yeah. Holy shit! Low watermark. Thank you very much. Yes. We aren't to the Halloween stream yet, but yeah, thank you very much, buddy.
The Halloween stream? You mean the Thanksgiving
stream? Yes. We're watching the Star Wars Holiday Special for Halloween.
Oh,
I want to terrify everyone.
I mean, with animation or without? With animation or without? This is crucial.
Oh, the Star Wars Holiday Special? We're doing the whole thing. I think my version might even have commercials too.
I mean, it introduces Boba Fett. And
he talks. It doesn't save it, and he
talks.
It's still rough. It's not. It's one of the better parts. That's for sure.
Yes,
but yeah,
absolutely. No, Grandpa Wookiee watching porn. That's the best part.
What, you don't like the Jefferson Starship random performance?
Not the Jefferson lineup. I'm a fan of personally. I feel
But,
a city built on rock and roll would be structurally unsound, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, it is very structurally sound.
Oh God. Yeah, but there's big hits in this, like big
Yeah.
people. This is a great
Mhm.
rock and
Oh,
roll
yeah.
movie. If you've never heard of the
I
band, or
mean-
you have and you haven't watched this, check it out.
I mean, it's not exclusively band songs. I mean, freaking Eric Clapton comes on there and does further up
On
the
Down
road.
which is
Yeah, and then
Woo!
Neil Young does "Helpless." So, like, essentially a lot of the guys just go on there, and the band is their backup while they do one of
Ronnie
their classics.
Hawkins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie Hawkins comes out and they just play Who You Love. Paul Butterfield,
That's
they play Mystery Train. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for
Van
hits
Morrison
from the band,
Yeah,
it's
Van
there
Morrison
too.
plays Caravan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Dylan is there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like my favorite era of Dylan personally.
Yeah. I still say, even with all those guests, my favorite performance, we already brought up, it was The Wait. That was just so well shot. It was just, just brilliant performance. Brilliant shooting of it too. Brilliant.
I really like the Dr. John one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like Dr. John.
Fantastic. Anything you want to add, or should we move on to Cobra Kai?
No, I make it a Thanksgiving tradition. That's
Yeah.
my Thanksgiving tradition.
There, that makes sense. Well, I mean, I should probably watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'll probably do that when I go visit my parents, because they just kind of put their foot down, because I wasn't really gonna do anything this Thanksgiving other than just like vegetate here, and they're just like, no, you're off on Friday. You're coming up and
Yeah,
hang
I'm
out
sure
with us
that.
on
Yeah, I'm
Friday."
sure that
I'm like,
worked
"Okay."
out very well. I'm sure that
Yeah.
worked out very well for you. I can hear it working out for you in my head right now.
Yeah.
It'll be similar
But,
to me driving back to Columbus after the concert.
Yeah. Slow wore out, man. But yeah.
Yeah.
But Cobra Kai season 3. So diving into this season, I always
Holy
thought there was
shit! First of all, just holy shit!
Yeah.
So much happened.
Yeah. Well, listen,
Like-
I remember when I watched this series initially, thinking there's diminishing returns. But upon a rewatch here, if I remember correctly, I think I might like this season a bit more than season 2. Still doesn't have anything on season 1. But yeah, one thing this season does that I actually like quite a bit was that it focused less on random fights, although they do happen. But yeah,
I have some things to say about. We'll get into that, but yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But it focused a bit less on the random fights, which kind of does drive me nuts in the show. Where
And-
it's just like
and, you
kids
know,
are
the petty-
constantly fucking fighting, and it's
and
like,
the
oh
pit
my God.
and the petty B&E, but
Yeah.
whatever. Whatever.
But yeah, one thing this season does focus on that I like is the relationship between Miguel and Johnny, which is kind of cheesy, and the whole thing with Miguel being paralyzed and Johnny somehow getting him to see D. Snyder, which is cool, but I don't see how he got him so close to the stage
It's
so
the power.
easily.
It's the power of D. Snyder's music that made him walk again.
True.
That's what did it. It was the
Yeah.
power of the '80s cock rock that did it.
Yes. That's what
No,
did it. You're right.
oh, absolutely fucking stupid. Yes.
Yeah. No, very.
I was like,
very
really?
silly.
I mean, of course, D. Snyder agreed to cameo in this. I'm not surprised by that in the slightest bit, but fucking real. Is that the only guy you guys could get? Like, fucking really?
Yeah, I like D. Snyder. But yeah.
Yes, that is the best part, Autobot. That is the best part.
Now the best part of Star Wars Holiday Special was Harvey Korman.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I mean,
cooking special.
You had me at Harvey Korman. Yeah, right then.
Yeah,
Sold.
Harvey Korman does like 50 different roles in that.
Like he is the Marcel of that movie.
We're getting a lot of Harvey Korman on Thanksgiving, guys.
he and Peter Mayhew carry that movie on their back. Also, that like Imperial guy who really was trying hard.
Yeah. Harrison Ford does okay in that too. Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill are gone. They are blitzed. We will get to it though. That's Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get to it.
one usage of karate I actually really liked here was when Miguel was in his coma, and it essentially used him doing a karate, essentially, I can't think of the term, but a karate fight to represent him getting out of the coma, and I liked that usage of it. It's like, okay,
Yeah, I
that
thought
actually
that was
makes sense.
That was a
Yeah.
really cool thing of visual storytelling. No, I enjoyed that. I thought that was
Yeah.
very cool. Because I was kind of expecting this to be like twice as cheesy as like the last season. But
Yeah.
no, they toned that down quite a bit, and I liked it.
It still has a bit of it, but yeah.
But it's not as eye rolly as it was last season.
No.
And
I
appreciate that.
really like the reintroduction of Chosen as just like this really cool guy who's really grown and developed since we last saw him.
That. I love like he spent the entire episode fucking with Daniel's son.
Yes, just being
that.
Just kind of being
just
a piece
being
of shit.
Such a dick.
And then it just revealed that he's actually really cool. He just wants to fuck with Daniel a bit.
He's just like, come on.
Yeah.
No, we're family. I love you.
Yeah, and I guess going over
while we're talking about it, he also taught Daniel's son a new technique that paralyzes you.
Yeah, which is
down
insane.
Pressure points. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that won't come into play at all.
Ever. Yeah. No, don't worry. Well, I mean, that kind of brings me to the other positive I like is finally having like Daniel and Johnny just have it out with Kreese, because fuck that guy.
Yeah, even after his backstory.
Yeah. You can give me all the tragic backstory you want with him. He's a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you had an Apocalypse Now Vietnam experience. You should grow from that.
Yeah.
Because this is not Nam.
Johnny's kind of a dick too, but he's trying to do better, and you're not, so I have no sympathy.
Yeah, Johnny is really trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
And he's not doing a bad job of it.
No, he's doing all right. He definitely has moments where it's like, okay, you're doing good, Johnny.
And then I also, God damn it, no, you don't. Your heart's in the right place, Johnny, but God damn it.
And while Johnny and Daniel still have kind of feuding a bit during this season, it's definitely toned down from season 2. I guess anything you want to add, Bobby, before I go into some negatives?
No, let's get into some negatives.
Okay. So essentially the two main kids in this are kind of Johnny's kids. It's Miguel and Robbie. And I love Miguel as a character. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah,
I can't really say the same for Robbie. I find Robbie kind of obnoxious. And
did they recast him?
No, it's the same dude.
It's just like he changed his hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they all change their hair, and I'll throw you off. And they're all supposed to be 17, even though they've been doing this for like 10 years at this point.
Hawk sure as hell didn't. He has the same style.
Yeah, true.
It might be a different like dye pattern, but
But yeah, Robbie as a character, it's like I get why he's kind of annoyed with Johnny and Daniel, but at the same time, he can still do better. He's still responsible for his own actions. Just because he's upset with his dad's doesn't mean he should be. It doesn't give you permission to be a dick, and he's just kind of a dick. And so I'm not a fan of Robbie. I'm Team Miguel, guys.
Yeah, Robbie is kind of a dickweed.
Yeah. And holy shit. So like, I actually thought they kind of like the Allie stuff. I thought was kind of interesting. I thought overall handled well, and I like how she kind of points out how Daniel and Johnny are more alike than they care to admit. But in the middle of that, there is that big old fight at the Little Russo house, and that's one of the things that drives me nuts about this series: all the random karate fights these kids get into. And that felt so fucking unnecessary at that house. It was just like, oh, you know what? We wrote this whole season, and we didn't think of a big brawl for the end. So let's just randomly throw one in.
You know what it seemed like to me? Just for one, like it seemed like a lot of trespassing.
Yes. Yeah.
like How is that guy's school still going to be open after that? Like, you are so freaking sued, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as they don't, and then they started breaking shit. I went destruction of property, breaking and
Yeah.
entering right now.
I
My
mean,
God.
as soon as they throw, they threw like the one kid's going outside to check on the cat.
You threw him through a window. Yeah,
They threw him through a window, and it's like, wow, that is assault. That's a destruction of property. That's breaking and entering. That is
willful
so many
destruction
things
of
going
property.
on.
Yeah, willful destruction. Of property.
That's got to be a couple years, right?
God, man, the homeowners association must really hate the LaRussos. They must really fucking hate John or Ralph.
But yeah, it is. It feels so kind of forced in there, especially after they made the big argument that like, hey, we need the karate tournament so we can have a place where we can do this and not like be bullies everywhere. And then they just are bullies everywhere anyway. And it's like, well, that
these damn kids with their karate fighting all over the mall,
all over the place. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? And
the town hall meeting I thought was like hilarious. Like I was laughing through all of that.
Oh yeah,
I just thought of Hella Lovejoy. Yeah, like I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to be as funny as I find it right now, but man, this is hilarious.
Well, I mean, they're the karate tournament's canceled, so Daniel and Johnny both go there to argue that it shouldn't be canceled. But then John Kreese ends up there and he makes the main argument, and then everyone gets arguing with John Kreese because he's a piece of shit and he's playing nice up there, but they all know he's a piece of shit and it's driving them nuts.
What was it? They attacked the kids at an abandoned laser tag place.
Yeah.
And that caused Daniel's wife to confront him, and she hit him. Like she did hit him.
Mm-hmm.
He deserved it, but she did strike him.
Well,
he pulled the little bitch move and got a restraining order.
Well, that's the thing. Like she went to file a restraining order against him, and she found out that he already filed one against her. And the cop was like, "Well, there's no point. He already has one." And in my mind, I was still thinking, actually, there is a point because you'd control the one you file against him. You don't control the one he filed against you. So I would go ahead and file it.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. But yeah, throughout this, John Kreese is insufferable dick. Oh, another positive before I, completely move on. Eagle Fang Karate is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I kind of loved it.
He says it with such conviction, and honestly, my first thought is like, I want one of those shirts so bad.
I have a Cobra Kai shirt, but I would love an Eagle Fang shirt because it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love it.
I fucking love it. Yeah,
it's like that is so stupid.
I would hope to see him at a convention, and I would hopefully wear it while meeting him.
Yeah. Eagle Fang, yeah.
Fucking, it's like I don't know why it's the dumbest thing, but I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's like the eagle with the beak. And
Eagle Fang. Yes,
it's like that's so dumb. Get me 10.
Yes. Oh God. Does it come as a enamel pin?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need more.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think overall I do like this season more than the last one. But this is still no season 1. Which I would still argue season 1 Cobra Kai is my favorite entry in the entire Karate Kid franchise. But
so there's some interesting stuff that happened here too. We should talk about how Kreese.
Yeah, Kreese.
Yeah, he pretty much gutted he trimmed all the fat out what he saw out of Cobra Kai pretty much.
Yeah,
and made him into like all the bully kids.
Yeah, he invited the bully kids over, and even Hawks
the kids from the first episode.
Don't do that.
Yeah. And he kind of let them go like 1v1, and loser is out of Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk got to beat up his bully. He got to work through some stuff. He had a lot of growth this season as a character.
Yeah.
And it looks like he might be back with fighting against Cobra Kai now.
Yeah. That's the one thing that whole house fight, which I thought was ridiculous and over the top. I did like Hawk's little moment there where he kind of like has like where he just has that moment where he's like, the fuck am I doing? Like, just like I'm beating up my friends right now. What is this? So yeah,
And
that
he had it
was a
after
nice
he,
moment
he
for
had
me.
it after he broke that one kid's arm,
Mm-hmm.
which he deserved that. A kid who his arm broke, he does deserve to pop him one in the face.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hawk does owe him a free shot to the face.
Mm-hmm.
Just principle.
Yeah. That was pretty rough.
And
But
that
yeah,
was when
like,
he snapped out of it, I think.
mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, overall, I thought this was a decent season. It worked overall for me. Yes. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No.
All right. Are we ready to dive into Gladiator 2?
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. Well,
I had some high hopes for this one, man.
So here, like, do you want to hear my thoughts on this one?
I'd love to hear your thoughts on the baboons.
Well, that was kind of okay. Yeah, not even getting to the gladiator. Okay, let's go over the. Go ahead and say this: the gladiator fights in this one are fucking insane. Like they have some insane CGI shit going on. There's warships in there in that arena and shit. And I'm looking at like, how does that work logistically? Is that a watertight arena? What the fuck are we doing?
What are we thinking of? Where the fuck are they getting all this water from?
Yeah.
Like,
they literally have warships and they're sailing on the water, constantly being dumped. I'm like, I don't think that works.
That poor aqueduct engineer, man. Like, but
I guess my feelings about this are overall are kind of like each act I have a very strong different feeling about. I felt Act 1 plays it way too similar to the original Gladiator that I was like I could just watch that movie again. Act 2 I thought was actually decent because it does some different stuff and throws some curveballs at me and I was like, okay, I'm kind of down with it. And then Act 3 was just like, what the fuck am I watching? This is insane. Holy shit. And I don't even think it's like it's I almost want to say Act 3 is almost not memorable, so probably not insane in a good way. But I was just like, okay, so the bad guy's just gonna kill the emperors and try to take over, but lose very quickly, I guess. Okay, sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What would you consider kicking off Act 3? When the plot for assassination came up and the creepy albino twins, Rod and Todd, were
so Act 3 would be soon after our two the big event where the two returning actors die. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Act 3 is pretty much immediately after that event.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, like, okay, so I'll go ahead and say my favorite character here was definitely Pedro Pascal's General Kayla, however you pronounce it. I actually thought they did an interesting job because, like, he's first introduced to be like the villain, and it's like he's just this guy who kills Lucius's family or his bride to be, and he wants revenge for that. But then you find out like there's a lot more to him, and he's kind of earning his place of honor among the guard in the hope to overthrow these evil albino twin emperors who are
Rod and Todd.
Yeah. Especially Joseph Quinn, who is chewing scenery, and I'm kind of digging every moment of it. But yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny? I loved it too. Like, I kind of loved him being so over the top. It was like, this is kind of fucking beautiful. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Even his little half brother Korg, Ed Sheeran there,
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a freaking lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah. It was it was insane. So yeah, I was kind of on board for that, and I like the Pedro Pascal character actually had a lot of nuance to him, and I like when Lucius he gets his opportunity for revenge, and he does like Maximus does, where no, no, he doesn't deserve it. I like that. I like that moment. There's lots of stuff in here I actually thought was solid, and there's other stuff that has me really scratching my head. Okay, one of the big things that has me scratching my head, and I don't think this should bug me as much as it does. But how the fuck is Lucius's Maximus's kid? How the fuck does that logistically work?
I told you. I told you.
Like when they first
I
said that,
fucking
I'm like,
told you.
when they first said that, I assumed that it was like, oh, like he's like spiritually his kid.
Oh.
No, they pretty much try to be saying that, yeah, at some point Lucilla and Maximus hooked up 12 years before the original movie, by the way. And
So
then
that
forgot
child
they
that was
existed,
down
and
there,
then yeah, makes no sense. I'm sorry. Like I actually think it would have made more sense if he was Commodus's kid through rape, and then he just chose to follow Maximus, and Maximus became his spiritual father. I thought that would have been more interesting. But no, he's Maximus's kid, which really makes no sense considering the story of the first one.
No,
and that's actually
make any fucking sense at all.
It's one of the things I actually like about the first one, because you have Lucilla and Maximus who obviously have chemistry, and we know in 9 movies out of 10 they're hooking up, but we know in this movie they aren't. They're never hooking up, and I like that. And this one kind of undoes it and says, "Oh yeah, at some point, way before even the original movie, they hooked up." Okay, I didn't even know they had a past history in the movie, because it's not implied they have a past history at all. But yeah, listen. There are elements I like in this movie, and elements where I'm like, what are we doing? Just
see, my reaction to
Yeah.
seeing the CGI baboons was more of, what the fuck is that?
So like they did some CGI tiger work in the other one, but they also had real tigers there, and it was kind of wild. Like I remember watching it saying, okay, I can see how they're being careful with the tigers, and it's kind of cool that they're still using them though. But yeah, we have like mutant monkeys in this one, and it's like I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. It's like, sure,
the CGI shark,
why not?
I can understand,
Yeah,
because they totally trade that.
You're not going to train a shark, okay?
Yeah, that's that's a union shark, man. It's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
He'll follow the union rules. Don't worry.
Yeah,
he's just put on a
oh
show.
god.
I guess we should talk a little bit about I don't even remember how to pronounce it. Macrinius, Denzel Washington's character, who's pretty much the big villain in this one.
Mac McBrooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to get one thing out of the way, because I know the chuds or some people are talking about the gay kiss, and I cannot stress enough how that is not a fucking romantic kiss. People, do you know what that is? That is like calling the kiss in The Godfather that Corleone gives people a gay kiss. Like, what the fuck are you guys watching?
No, bro, it was cool. They were siblings. It's cool.
It's like,
yeah.
Dude, it was an intimidation kiss. Watch the fucking movie.
It's a language of subtlety.
Yeah.
And cannolis.
It's a power play from him. He's showing off what he can do. Yeah. I swear, media literacy is going downhill. Even with a movie like this as actually really fucking silly. Let's be honest. It's got some cool elements, but it's got some really fucking silly shit going on.
For as over the top and over CGI'd as that like battleship scene was, that was pretty fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was pretty cool.
I mean, even the monkey scene, it was like, okay, I was not expecting that. But it's like,
yeah,
okay,
I got a good laugh out of it.
Kind of brutal.
Yeah, a little bit much, but Jesus.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like this movie,
you guys couldn't get the money for Andy Serkis to portray him.
If at any point you're watching the original Gladiator and you're like, I would like this if it was way fucking more over the top. Boy, have we got the movie for you.
This really makes me wonder, man, what would have that third Ridley movie in the Prometheus trilogy would have been like?
Oh my god.
What would have that been like, man?
I kind
Think
of
about
really
it.
want to see it, not
I
not
kind
because
of
I think
really
it'd be
want to see it
beautiful,
after
but I
this.
want to see it. I want to.
I kind of want to
Yeah.
see it after this. Like, I
Yeah.
really want to see it.
Um.
Just go as
So
bad shit as you want, Ridley.
I guess if I were to try to rate this, I would say I don't think it's a particularly great movie, although it has good elements in it. I can't say I really didn't enjoy it. I would say I didn't really enjoy the ending because, like I said, it just feels like all. Okay, spoiler alert. The ending is pretty much Denzel Washington killing the emperors and becoming the emperor himself for like 5 seconds before Lucius kills
Convincing
him.
the younger one to decapitate his brother and bring it out
Yeah.
to council
Yeah.
with a pretty
It is
decent
over the
looking,
top.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
it was a decent prosthetic. Yeah. I mean,
pretty decent prosthetic. Yeah, like
yeah.
looked pretty good.
It kind of looked like Joseph Quinn's dead head. I was like, okay.
It was pretty entertaining too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Um,
Yeah, at that point,
but-
I was really hard pressed to pay attention. I was just dying with laughter.
Yeah. Like I said, there's there's lots of elements in Act 2 that I thought were kind of creative in what they were doing, the curveballs they were throwing. Because the first act is so much like the first movie, where I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I could just be watching the first movie. And
I was getting a little pissed off.
better.
I was
Yeah.
getting a little pissed off, like, God damn it, really? Is this going to be like Avatar 2 all over again?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
But
it took you longer to do the
I
same
will still
thing,
defend
Ridley.
it. But yes, but yeah,
It's okay.
that is true. It did take, dude. It took Ridley Scott longer to make this than it took James Cameron to do Avatar 2.
Would make the same fucking movie, yes.
Yeah. But
I'll die on that hill.
then Act 2 was like, okay, there's some interesting stuff here. And then Act 3, no, I was not a fan of Act 3 at all. So I guess take what you will. Like I guess at the end.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you ask me, I guess my recommendation would be, if you were like the first one, check this out on streaming. That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's really worth theater prices, but
No, I agree. I agree.
I will say overall, I thought the actors did a good job, whether or not they were chewing
yeah.
scenery or just
Chewing
playing it straight. I thought they were good.
They were both great.
They
Both
were all
of the
good,
evil emperors were just phenomenal chewing scenery. Who was
It's
the other
amazing
one?
how much scenery
Like
was
not Joseph Quinn,
well,
the other one.
It was Fred Henchinger. I don't recognize the name,
know
but
him
yeah.
from anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Joseph Quinn, I was like, wait, I know that face.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Eddie. Oh shit, it's Eddie as an albino.
Yeah, he's that idiot who was gonna turn away Iris Stark. You damn fool. You damn fool. But
yeah.
he chewed. They both were great. Like just
yeah, they were so over the top. It's great.
So fucking evil. I loved it. Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like when Denzel Washington's killing them off. I'm kind of like, okay, I don't care. Denzel Washington's evil in this movie, but he's probably not as evil as they are. But yeah, they have to take care of him as well. So,
mm-hmm.
But yeah, the twist of Lucius being Lucius was, I saw that. Well, I didn't see him being Maximus's actual kid coming, but yeah, I assumed for a decent way into it, especially when they brought up the fact that he was way more well-read than he's supposed to be. It's like, yeah, he's gonna be her kid, isn't he? Yeah, that's what I assumed going in. And there's Ridley. That was my favorite shot in the movie right there.
Oh yeah.
I did not expect Snoop Dogg in this movie.
I still say all hail Lord Dimbus. He made his fucking pet monkey a lord.
But yeah, I do think definitely Pedro Pascal had the most interesting role to play.
Yeah,
and Connie Nielsen had some stuff to do too. They probably, I would say, as far as actual giving genuine performances, I would say Pedro Pascal and Connie Nielsen do the best job. And then as far as over the top, it's got to go for freaking Joseph Quinn and Fred Henslinger. Although Denzel Washington chews some scenery here and there. Not
He
all the
kinda
time,
did
but
a
he
little
definitely
bit,
he
but,
occasionally dives into that scenery a bit. It's not. I'm all for it. But yeah, my thoughts on it. Eh,
wait for streaming.
yeah, I would say rewatch the first one. If you enjoyed the first one, wait for this on streaming and check it out. Then,
Yeah.
like I said, I think there's good elements here and there's entertaining elements here. Like, I wouldn't say I
Yeah.
hated my experience watching it, but like,
I didn't. I
yeah,
appreciated mine.
yeah, yeah. There's definitely great trash elements here for sure. Where I'm like,
there
well,
absolutely
that's
are.
a choice.
Like I loved it for that. In fact, we're
Yeah.
gonna just make this an honorary exception into that category.
Yeah,
Because I can appreciate this movie for what it is.
yeah. Well,
It
I
is
mean,
just-
like I said, there's
it's not really
genuinely
trash
well
either.
done stuff. Yeah, there's
there's some
genuinely
really great
done,
stuff here.
well done stuff here. And then there's other stuff where it's like that kind of falls into
Those
great trash
baboons,
right there.
man,
Yeah.
those baboons right away is just
Yeah.
oh, what the fuck is this?
Hey, here's what I will say. That CGI in this movie looked really fucking good. Those weird mutant baboons looked like they were actually there.
Oh yeah, they did. I don't know
And
what
guys,
the hell they were.
To fit my schedule, I watched it on an IMAX screen. That's a giant fucking screen. They looked real. But yes, Gladiator 2. It exists. It's a movie.
Yeah, about
It
that.
was made.
It was made. So next week,
Yes.
I
know I think I can do this from memory. I think it's Cobra Kai season 4, and
Yeah.
then Wizard of Oz and Wicked.
Yeah.
So we're gonna I actually wanted to do it a bit off, but I was like, we'll do an episode where we kind of look at Wicked and Wizard of Oz and kind of compare them a bit. We're not going to do the full comparison again, but yeah, I think it'd be nice to kind of look at both for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And Baby Metal maybe next week if I don't release it before then. But yes, that is the agenda for next week. Let's see. So Initiative is doing their shillies and chuddies on Wednesday. We will be handing out arbitrary fictional awards to content creators who do a good job or do a bad job. That should be fun. We'll have lots of clips and stuff like that. And then Thursday will be my Thanksgiving stream. We'll go over some comic books, and I will make everybody in that stream sit down with me and watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. I apologize in advance. I'm going to hate myself after watching it, too. I'm going to be like, fuck, this sucks. But I will also say, hey, if you've watched this, congratulations. You've seen the worst thing in Star Wars has ever made. I don't want to hear you complaining about X Disney Star Wars series being the worst thing ever, because no, it's not. No. But yeah, I think that's it. Anything you want to bring up, Bobby, before we sign out?
No, I think we're good.
All right. So, guys, party on and be excellent to each other. Yeah. Live long and prosper.